Well, in 1992, you became principal of Sacred Heart Cathedral School in Knoxville.
I did.
And you were there for 12 years. And early on, you got your master's degree in educational administration. And tell us a little bit about that school and your experience, and your first experience as a principal.
Well, I was telling Miss Mates on the way over here that when I was offered the job was June the 30th of 1992. Now I'm telling my age a little bit, but I was offered the job. I was 33 years old. I had been in the school for 11 years, teaching, athletic director, girls basketball coach, was the after-school care director. So, you know, I'm a glutton for punishment. Workaholic may be a word that can be used, you know, but Monsignor Mankel, he was not Monsignor at the time, you know, he came, I was telling Rebecca, he came walking across that gym one day and he said, Pam, because the principal was leaving, have you thought about being a principal? And I'm thinking, you know, Father, I really had decided not to be an administrator. I really liked coaching, I really liked teaching, and I had decided, you know, that's not for me. But that's the kind of thing, like in Mass today, the children were singing the songs about being called by the Lord. And when He calls, and you can run, but you cannot hide. You know, He will win, and it will be the easy way or it will be the hard way. And so it's better just to cooperate on the front end. So, but I did go through the interview process, was offered the job and accepted. I took over a school where I had been a teacher, and that's not always a really easy thing to do, because today you're a peer, tomorrow you're the boss. And that's kind of a hard thing to do, but they tolerated me very well. And we were probably at about 450 students maybe when I took over. One of my first tasks is that we had been going through the Blue Ribbon process, which I know St. Charles went through back in 2007. And I took over in July, and in those days they came and did a school visit. Our visit was in October. So that was the first thing we had to do, was get it ready for the review team to come in. And luckily enough for us, you know, we were very successful, and we were awarded the recognition. And so that was something that was important for me. And during the time I was there as principal, we got our first Southern Association accreditation, which is similar to the FCC accreditation here in Florida. And at our top enrollment, we were probably about 760 students. So we went from having 1 or 2 sections per grade. We were able to build the school to be 4 sections of kindergarten. But once you top about 500, it really changes the dynamic of the school. And I'm really, after having gone through that, I'm a strong proponent of 2 sections per grade. That's about 500 students. That's a nice size. It's big enough to have flexibility in programs, but small enough that you really can, in essence, keep track of the students and really know where they are and how they're doing, and really kind of keep your thumb on them, you know, as it were. So I also had, Monsignor was a great mentor to me. Just telling Father, he had gone to school with my aunt, and he always tells the story that she was the first girl he kissed in first grade, you know, because she had done something, and Sister said, now you need to, you know, acknowledge Mary Ellen. And so his acknowledgement was a kiss. I don't think that's what Sister had in mind, but anyway, that's, you know, that's what happens. So, but blessed with him. I kind of like to try new things, you know. Sometimes I'm kind of an out-of-the-box thinker, and we had a large faculty, we had young faculty. They were having their children, and we wanted to have a place for the children to be close, so Mom could focus on teaching. And I went over and said, hey, Father, how about a preschool? He's like, okay, you know, and that was the beauty. You know, he would let me, you know, do these things. And by the time we finished, we had what is now the only preschool in Knoxville. It starts at infants. They can have 4 to 1 in infants and all the way up to pre-K. So I have a big fondness for the pre-K programs and the 3-year-old programs, because they're just so very, very important. And you know, a lot of the work of the older teachers is great, but if you can really tend to the children when they're little and give them that extra attention, then a lot of times you avoid a lot of the issues that arise as an intermediate student or middle school, because we can kind of nip it in the bud, you know, and really help them. So it was great formation. You know, I got to grow with the school. You know, I think it'd be hard now to walk in as a 33-year-old principal and take over a school of 750 or even a school of 450. It's just, things have changed a lot in the years since then. So, but